Hi everybody, how are you doing? Well, the weather has certainly changed in that today it is actually quite mild here, but we've been surrounded by really heavy weather and lots of rain last week, and next week's going to be significantly colder here, getting down to like 10, 11, 12 degrees. But today it's about 17, 18, it's going to get a little warmer than that, so it just gives a little bit of extra little pep to the garden, but that is disappearing fast. So today I'm going to do a little run in the garden and show you a few things that we've picked up from going to Chelsea Flower Show last time, which was a fantastic opportunity and really enjoyed going there, and would recommend anyone going to a garden show, certainly at that scale, to get some ideas about what you can do in your space. Also look at a couple of little tips, one around how to keep slugs and snails away that we picked up when we were there, and one around bulb lasagna, so planting bulbs for next spring. So those are the two things I'm going to cover today, and I'll come back at the end and just sort of round things up. But for now, let's pop around the garden. Well, one flower that's doing really well at this stage of the year is the cosmos. So I know Sam mentioned it in the comments last time that hers haven't come. Hopefully they come now, Sam. But ours are just really doing fantastically well. So they've got the pinky purple ones here, just a great shape and really good structure. The sort of more white ones here doing really well, and then over the back we've got the mixture. And again, they just keep coming and coming and coming. I think the only things that are doing as well as that are probably the tomatoes, which we're still getting plenty of, and it's a case at the moment of pick some, eat some, pick some, eat some each day, because there's certainly more than we can eat here, so the neighbours are doing well out of it as well. And swinging around the garden, a couple of new arrivals. So down here we've got a brand new salvia, and another one here, a little smaller one. And these we picked up at Chelsea. There was just a stall with salvias on it, and just took our fancy, I think, really, and just very nice plants that I think would add real structure to the garden next year. So they're in. And flipping around to the other sides, the other thing that came out of Chelsea was the idea that this space here that we've got, so this used to be lawn, then we had pots on it all summer, and what we decided now to do with this is we had cardboard over it last time, and just to kill off the grass a bit, we're going to rake this, and then have it as a no dig bed. So just going to lay some compost on top of it so we don't disrupt the soil and the worms and all those things inside it, and we're going to see if we can, adding a bit of grits and a bit of sand to it, create something of more of a seaside-y type space there. So sea holly, sea kale maybe, because we live by the coast here, and even though our soil isn't sandy, we're hopeful we can take some natural seeds but also buy some and see how they go here. So this will be an area transformed next year, just like Monty does. And then over the back, everything is looking really good. The ferns looking really healthy, but up the garden you can see we're losing colour and losing a bit of shape, and we're definitely pruning things back again and again and again, like the tomatoes here. You really are now down to the fruit rather than the leaves. The quince is doing really well. We've got our first one in the house, just ripening off the tree, and that'll be in this weekend's crumble. And the last piece to show you is the last purchase from Chelsea, where you can see also that chilies are doing really well in here. So they finally come, and you can see we're going to have plenty of chilies later in the year. We've got another salvia here, which is from my mum, because it's called Wendy's Wish. And at the top, we've got some hostas. Now, we've always been shied away from hostas and scared of them because of the slugs and the snails on them. But we talked to the person there about them, and she gave us an ingenious tip, which I'm going to share in the next segment. So here you are. You can look at our blue mouse ears. And next thing you'll see will be me making a garlic wash. So we've boiled our garlic and left it overnight, and now if you could be here now and smell it, you'd have a wonderful whiff of garlic. Now we're going to mash this up and strain it, and then decant it into a bottle. And here's the garlic mashed to pieces, so all the liquid now is in a saucepan. You can see here, just pouring the garlic liquid now into a plastic bottle. So good reusing of materials. Stop. And now we've decanted this into the bottle. So it's 2 tablespoons for 5 litres. This is about a litre, so we put in a teaspoon. And now, just spray it over the fats here. And this should mean, hopefully, that the slugs stay away. Now the rule is once a week, but if it rains, come out and do it again soon afterwards. You can see we've got about 2 litres worth of liquid there, so we've got enough there definitely for the winter. So good luck, hope that works for you, and share any of your tips if you've got anything different you use to get rid of or keep away slugs and snails. Hi everybody, well as promised, here's some bulb planting and a bit of a bulb lasagna. First things first, get your pot and make sure you've got a source underneath it all to stop the soil from running out, but to capture some of the water. So first things first, like last time, it's broken crockery at the bottom. Just helps to keep the soil in and make sure it doesn't run away. Next we're going to fill it with a mixture of compost and horticultural grit. Monty says 3 to 1 compost to grit, so I'm going to tip some of this in, make a nice mess of the table. Keep going and keep going. And what we're going to be, the first set of bulbs need to be about 12 centimetres deep, so if I go down with my Pearson TQ ruler, I'm at the right point I think there, because we'll push those down. Right, a handful of grit, or 2, there it goes. This grit has been almost impossible to source. It's been really hard to get this from any garden centre, so if you find it, buy it. It's really expensive online and it's not delivered very much, so look out for that. If you see it, buy it. If you haven't got any, don't worry, just use compost, but this means there's more space for the bulbs to grow into. So we've got our layer now, and we've selected some bulbs. So we've got some tulips to go at the bottom, tulip Appledorn. These are from B&Q, so nowhere special. And Appledorn's a lovely place in Holland if you ever get a chance to go there. It's a beautiful part of the world. So put some of those in there. We've got some dwarf daffodils, and we've got some muscari. Where are they now? The muscari are here. So muscari peppermint. In this one here for now, and we're going to take them out. Tulips first. What did Monty say? Pointy bit standing up. So we've got 5 of these. Here we go. 1. Pointy bit facing up. 2. 3. 4. 5. So move that across there, so nicely spaced, bit of space in between each of them. And now we're going to put another layer, compost on top. Now obviously what Monty would do is pre-mix his compost and his grit, but I haven't got that luxury. I'm trying to show you what I'm doing today. So a layer of this together over the top of those bulbs, and now we're going to put the daffodils in. Same rules apply. Point a bit up, and I know roughly where the other ones were, so in the gaps. Put this up together, careful. 2, 3, 4, 5. And I always try and do it in odd numbers if I can, sticking to the rules and advice of Michel Roux Jr., the chef, that odd numbers are better than even. A little bit more compost and grit. Again, we're creating this lasagna of different bulbs, and they come at different times, so we get different results, different shows throughout the spring. Finally, muscari. So again, pointy end sticking up, and we're going to put those nearer the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll get one more out. Make it an odd number. 5. Now, cut them over again, all the way to the top or near the top. Another handful of grit. pretty happy with that. I have a layer of grit over the top. This is for a number of reasons. Firstly, if it rains, you don't get the compost washing away. Number two, it stops pests thinking about coming in. Number three, it looks quite nice. So now I'm going to carry this over to the house, put it in a sheltered spot where it doesn't get too wet. It doesn't need to be indoors though. And come February, March and April, we should get some different colours coming through, and we'll come back to that next year. Well, that's all for this week. Thanks so much for watching that. I hope that was useful. A couple of tips there, and certainly the one on the garlic I had not used before, so that's really new to me, and so far so good. We haven't got any slugs on those hostas and on our japonica, but let's see how long that lasts. If you've got any tips of your own, please share them with either in the chat so the rest of the group can see it, or just drop me a line and I'll share it next time. Other things to look forward to, you know, while the days are getting shorter and it's getting a little bit colder, there's still plenty to do in the garden. So remember, keep saving your seeds, and I'll be in touch next time about how we can do seed swapping. Start tidying the garden up, because as things start dying away, look around what can be tidied up, what can be pruned back, what can be moved, what can be moved indoors, and just think about your garden for next year. What do you want? What's the plan for next year? What do you want to change? Because now's a good time to think about that in terms of what plants you want, and if you can order them now, what seeds you need to order. But just start thinking ahead, because you can do a lot of things differently next year, and it's lovely to think about it now, because it just gets you through the winter period when you can think of all your dreams and all the things that are exciting about next year. And don't worry if they go wrong next year, that's next year. For now, it's all about the planning. But that's it. Okay, have a good weekend, and I'll see you in 2 weeks' time.